Welcome to today's land auction via AuctionCast. In cooperation with Courtney Dettel, broker at Prime Land and Ranch Real Estate Group, AuctionCast is the most informative method to buy and sell land at auction. I'm your host, Tyler Tissue, and I'm joined on my left here by Brian Haugen. Brian, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself here so that way they know what you do?
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. My name's Brian Haugen. I'm the auction manager today here, helping with AuctionCast, and in conjunction, like we said, with Courtney Dettel at Prime Land and Ranch. All the local people following along here know Courtney, and we are working together on this auction just southwest of Delhart, Texas.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you very much, Brian. On my right here, I have Craig Borchard. Craig, why don't you tell everybody about yourself as well?
Sure, Tyler. My name's Craig Borchard. I'm with Ascent Financial, and Ascent Financial, we help farmers and agribusiness with transition and estate planning and help advise them on transactions in their businesses generally.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I can't wait to hear what you had to say about this farm here shortly.
Thank you.
Today, we'll be selling the XIT farm. This is 821 plus acres located in Hartley County, Texas. And for those of you who are not familiar, we like to do what we call the land market update, where every other week we provide you with updated sales across the region as well as the state and direct sales exactly. And if you'd like to follow along, you can go to our website at LandProz.com or our YouTube channel. But to start, we're in the great state of Iowa in Tama County. We have 73 acres that recently sold for $21,000 per acre. And then we're over in Lyon County, Iowa, and had 80 acres that sold for $20,000 per acre. Next, we're moving to Illinois in Henry County. 38 acres that sold for $20,501 an acre. And then we're going to Brown County, Minnesota. 74 acres that sold for $13,689 per acre. Great sales all across the Midwest. We're still seeing great prices across the region in all these types of ag farms, no matter where it's at, it seems like. Next, we're back here in the great state of Texas. 1,278 acres sold in Dallam County.
Yep.
Just north of this farm for $3,423,000 or $2,678 an acre. And next, we have 341 acres that sold in Hartley County for $1,250 an acre. And that was just bare grassland.
Yeah.
So it's right in the same state that we're selling here.
So what I think we did here, Tyler, is we wanted to break it down a little bit. This farm that we're selling today has grass on it, and it also has, irrigated.
Yep.
It's got 4 circles of irrigation. We had some water tests done on this thing. We're 2.5, 2.6 water. So we just wanted to make sure we had similar comparisons. So that's kind of what we have. And then we put up grassland, to kind of compare the two types of farmland on the property.
Sure. Yeah, so. It's a unique property here. It does have a couple of different options, so it makes sense completely. One of the things that when we were analyzing this farm was the history of this farm, and I love history when it comes to farms, especially because many of these farms are generational, and this farm in particular was part of the original XIT ranch that was over 3 million acres, the largest fenced-in ranch in the entire country at one point. And this farm that we're selling here today was part of that. So, and the XIT ranch, it stood for the X being 10. Right. It covered 10 counties. It was that big. And during the time, I know that and how that transaction was, the government traded the Farwell brothers from Chicago, $3 million. So they paid $1 an acre to build that where the capital ends up being in Austin, Texas.
Still today.
Yeah. So the history of this farm is long standing, and that's what I said, that the things that I love about these farms, when you get on them, you can realize that history and how it has changed and ended up really showing where the Texas ended up going, because now on the XIT ranch, when you read through the history, now there's colleges that are on there, there's churches that are on, there's towns that have developed out of this, all from this original XIT ranch.
Right across the street is XIT feeders, right? So there's XIT is long ingrained in the history of the area. It's very unique. It's fun to read about, and it's just nostalgia. You have Yellowstone on TV, but this here's the real thing.
It's the original Yellowstone.
This is real.
Yeah, exactly. Where everywhere you look, it's that ranch.
Right.
Can't imagine it back in the day. So, let's get here to this auction here, and let's talk a little bit more about what this ranch has to offer in detail here. Some of the things with the irrigation nozzles and stuff like that. Can you tell the audience a little bit more details here that they might not be able to read in the brochure?
Yeah, Tyler, thanks. So, like I said, in cooperation with Courtney Dettel and most of you online, we have a great number of people following along online. We have some bidding going on already. Courtney and I spent a lot of time working together, talking about this farm. She's very, very well versed in the area, okay? So we have worked on some of this information, and if any of you would like to call her during the auction here and talk to her about anything that we're going to talk about, you sure can. That would be great. So we cross-checked, we talked about this. So this farm, we had well tests done in 2019. We had them pulled in the fall, so September of 2019. And we came up with, out of the 8 wells with submersible pumps, we came up with approximately just shy of 1,300 gallons a minute water. So we call this 2.526 water. From what I've been told in the area, that's an important time to pull. The water's been drawn down, so we get an accurate reading of the water. So the irrigators are currently nozzled. There's the 4 irrigators. We're at 500 gallons a minute. 450, 450, and 300. So prospectively, that's the 4 irrigators. Currently, there are 4 circles of wheat on the farm. Okay, and the wheat has been seeded and taken care of and maintained from last year's tenant. Okay, and that wheat is in excellent shape. They've been watering it. They're watering it currently, and with that wheat, just to be clear. There's an option to either buy out
and that's what I was going to ask you. Is how's that going to work with a possible new buyer here?
Yeah, so we're not going to get into all of that completely. What I'm going to say about that is we'll take the expenses. The farm has been well fertilized with manure, and it's been seeded down. We have all the receipts and all the invoices. And if there is a party that's interested watching online that wants to purchase that wheat crop and just go right in and farm this, we will give possession with earnest money right after the sale here when we execute the purchase agreements. And Courtney can work with you on that as she helps with the purchase agreement, and we can figure that out. But in a nutshell, to buy that wheat out, we have approximately $112,000 in invoices to buy the wheat out. Okay. And there is going to be some water expense. The electric bills, they haven't come in yet. We can negotiate and take care of that post-auction here. Now, if you do not want to buy that wheat out, we would have a tenant in place, and that tenant is willing to pay cash rent to farm this farm this year. And we can get into that. We have the cash lease in the amount of $100,000 cash, and that'll be to the buyer at closing. And again, Courtney Dettel with Prime Land and Ranch will work that out, the specifics of that exactly in the purchase agreement. So that being said, as far as some more information about the farm. So most that are watching know it's across the street from a large feed yard, XIT feeders. So that's an important location. It's just southwest of Delhart, like we said. There's 4 irrigated circles, and everything on this farm is hooked up with electricity. Okay, there are no engines running the subs. It's all electric, and most of this, most of the new infrastructure that was placed on the farm was done in the early 2000s, 2011, 2010, 2014. You can see we have an equipment list that the seller is willing to work with the new buyer on an allocation, and maybe we can kick that to Craig just a little bit real briefly to talk about maybe a tax benefit and an allocation of that real quick on that equipment. So I'm gonna kick it to you, Craig.
Looking at kind of the equipment list, a lot of this equipment looks like it would be eligible for accelerated depreciation. You'd want to talk with your tax advisor to make sure that it makes sense to them. But I think a lot of this would probably be depreciable in the first year of the purchase. Okay. It sounds like 50 to 66% is a comfort level, from the seller's perspective, but that's open to some negotiation as well. Okay. Well, thanks, Craig.
Of course, we're not here to give any accounting or legal advice. We're here to auction this great farm off today. One other item for disclosure that I need to bring up as far as proper etiquette is the AKT Trust and the SMJ Trust is the seller for today's sale. I have to disclose that one of the owners of that trust is a licensed real estate broker in Minnesota, and Iowa. So just proper etiquette. We want to get that out of the way. But if there's any other questions, I know there's a lot of information out there on this farm. Courtney Dettel has done a great job getting most of the information out to anybody. So again, if there's any quick questions while we're going to jump into bidding here, give Courtney a call. She can help you through it. And then I think that's about it. You got anything else, Tyler?
No, I think you've covered a wide range of things here. I hope that the audience understands a little bit more here about this farm and some of those details. And if they need to find out any more information, obviously they can get hold of you or Courtney Dettel, obviously, about this one.
Correct.
Here. But first, we would like to welcome all of our online bidders and point out a few things to all of our viewers. Make sure that you are aware of the documents that are online that are posted about the farm. They're located in the Documents tab. And if at any time you would like to bid by phone, have any technical issues, or have a question, please call the number on your screen, or you can call Brian or Courtney Dettel here, and they can answer your questions by phone, text, or email. So let's get this auction up and going, and we're going to send it over to Greg Jensen.
Thank you. We're going to go over the terms and the conditions of the sale. We're going to start out by saying the method of sale here today is bidding will be dollars per deeded acre, which is 821 deeded acres. The deeded acres, I have in a brochure, may change because of a survey. They shouldn't. They will be 821. Seller reserves the right to accept or reject any or all bids. The auction company and the seller reserve the right to preclude any person from bidding if there's any concern to the person's credentials or fitness to bid or enter into a contract. The agency, Prime Land and Ranch, EXP Realty, in cooperation with LandProz Real Estate and AuctionCast, are representing the seller. The taxes will be paid by the buyer in 2023. The sale is subject to all easements, restrictions of record, covenants, and leases. Each bidder is responsible for conducting their own inquiries and due diligent efforts at their own risk concerning the subject property. The property is sold as is, where is, with no warranties. Closing date, on or before March 15th, 2023. The contract and title immediately upon the conclusion of the auction, the highest bidder will enter into a real estate contract purchase agreement and provide funds for earnest money to be deposited with the real estate and auction company. Seller will provide updated abstract or owner's title insurance policy at their expense. Sale is not contingent upon buyer's financing. The terms today are $150,000 down, non-refundable. On the day of auction, closing will take place on or before March 15, 2023. Buyer will have possession at closing, unless you want to, if you're going to lease it out, we'll give you possession at closing. If you are going to farm it, we'll give you immediate possession as soon as you work out the details. Wheat crop will be the new owner's crop, and the buyer shall pay the input costs as noted in the supplements at the closing, unless you want to rent it out. If the current tenant enters into a lease with the new owner, then the tenant shall be responsible for the input costs of the wheat crop. Farm is open for 2023. Seller can accept or reject any or all bids. Seller is a licensed real estate broker in Iowa and Minnesota. Buyer will enter into a Texas purchase agreement the day of the auction, which is today. Broker for the seller is Courtney Dettel, Prime Land and Ranch, EXP Realty. Buyer's broker may register buyer's clients and will be paid a referral fee if buyer is a successful bidder. Please contact Brian Haugen or Courtney Dettel for broker buyer registration or information. And Brian, who's sitting off to my right, his number is 507-208-0791. So if you have any questions at all, you can call Brian. We're going to start the auction out. We've had a lot of activity this morning on the pre-bidding, and this is an opportunity for you to buy a farm in your area, whether you're an investor or whether you're a neighbor or a neighboring farmer or whatever. This is a great opportunity because this farm is going to be sold when the day is done. So we've had, like I said, a lot of pre-bidding, but right now we have $2,400 an acre. Who would give $2,500? So I got $2,400. Who'd give $2,500? And away we go. 24, now 5. Hey, but a $500 now, would you give $500 bid for it? I got 24 online and 25. Would you give 25? At 25, bidder number 664, you're out. At 24, now 5. Up at a 5, hot, 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 up at a 5. What do you get? 500. 2,500. Hot 25, a bit of buy, a bit of buy, a bit of buy. What do you get? 25 for it. Hot 2,500 now. What do you get? 25. What do you get? 25. What do you get? 25. Hot 24 now. 5. Hot 24 now. 5. Hot up at a 5. Hot up at a 5. Hot up at a $500 bid for it. 24 now. 5. When we're done here today, there's going to be a new owner. So if you want to buy this farm, you're going to have to step up to the plate and buy it hit today, because tomorrow it's going to be gone. There's going to be a completely different owner, and that's the way it's going to be. Now, I always stop and talk a little bit about the Wished I Woulda Club. If you're thinking about buying this farm and you don't buy it, tomorrow morning when you wake up, you might say, I wished I would have. Well, it's going to be too late. You have to do it today. There's going to be a new owner. We have 2,400. Who'd give $2,500? Hot 24 now 5. Up at a 5, hot, 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 up at a $500 bid for it. 24, now 500. Hot 500 now, what do you get? 5, hot, up at a 5, hot, up at a $500 bid. Hot 24 and 5. Hot 24, now up at a 5, hot, up at a 5, hot, up at a 5, hot, up at a 5. Now they slowed down a little bit now, Brian. I don't know why. 24, now 5. That's where we should have started. Hot 24, now 500. Hot 24 now, but a $500 now. What do you give $500 bid for it? 24 now 5. Hot 24 now 5. Hot up at a 5. Hot up at a 5. Hot up at a $500 bid. 24 is the bid. 2,500. Hot 24 now 5. Hot 24 now 5. Hey, but a 24 now, but a 5. Hot up at 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 a $500 bid. 24 now 5. Hot 5. 5. Hot up at a 5. You want a little time out here? 24 now 5. Hot 24. How about 24.50 then? That's fine. We'll try that. 24.50. Hot 2,400 now, but a 50. Hot 2,400 now, but a 50, 50, now, but a 50, 50, now, but a 50, 50, now, but a $50 bid for it. 2,400 now 50. Hot 2,400 now, but a 50, 50, now, but a $50 bid. 2,400 now 50. Hot 50 now 50, 50, now, but a $50 now to get 2,400 a bid now 50. 24.50. Hot 2,400 now, but a 50, 50, now, but a 50, 50, now, but a $50 bid for it. Hot $2,450. I'll tell you what we're going to do. You know, I always like to do this right now. I'm going to take a little recess because that's a big deal when you're buying a farm. But I'm going to tell you what, it's a great opportunity for a lot of people to own this really great farm. So you got to help yourself. We're going to sell it today. We got 2,400, and I'm going to turn it over to the guys, and we're going to have just a little recess right now.
Thank you very much, Greg. So just to recap here, so this morning when this bidding started, and it started early this morning, we started off at $1,500 an acre, and we are up to $2,400 an acre. So we did have some early bidding going on here, but let's discuss this farm a little bit more in detail. So that way, maybe some of you buyers who are sitting on the edge and wondering whether or not, you really want to purchase this farm. Brian, let's talk a little bit more about this farm and why it is such a good buy, for somebody, and why this farm does offer a lot to a future producer or investor or anything like that.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. A lot of good points about this farm. Of course, we talked about the history. That's the fun part of this farm.
Yeah,
owning a little piece of history here, but more importantly, how it produces. We've had wheat on this farm, we've had cotton, we've had milo, we've had pumpkins, we've had corn. This farm is set up with newer subs. So in the last 3 years, 6 of the 8 pumps in each of the wells, the submersible pumps, everybody following along online that's from the area knows exactly what I'm talking about. But the submersible pumps have been replaced. So a
little less to worry about there.
Yeah, so new six of the 8 pumps are new pumps. Okay, yeah. So we should not have that issue coming into this. And right now, like we said, there are 4 circles of wheat planted at varying varieties of wheat in stages, so they can water that and bring that through harvest, and then they'll come back in and, of course, farm that again. Some of the past yield history we have from APH reports on this farm. We have some APH history for wheat. We have 100. The last time wheat was on a couple of the circles and it went to grain, we have 124 bushel wheat. We have cotton. That when we had some cotton out there, when I'm looking at the APH reports, 1,187 pounds of cotton. And then, of course, we've had 250 some bushels of corn out there. So this farm grows really good crops. Next, the tenant last year put a good amount of manure on. Okay, we have the majority of the circles received 20, 21, 22 ton of manure. The manure has been spread on the farm. It's good to go. The tenant also felt like they should till and open the farm up and let the soil breathe, and so there has been some ripping that has gone on down there. And of course, with this wheat crop, the tenant is also, with the winds, they've made sure they've stayed on top of rotary hoeing. So the crop has been tended to carefully. The prior crops on this farm have done very well. Location, we can't dismiss the location of this farm, where it is.
Yep, right there in the middle of the XIT ranch. Absolutely.
Right, and then we talk about the tax advantages with Craig a little bit. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the CRP contracts. Okay, the CRP contracts on the corners expired, and that was a contract that can be renewed. We understand potentially even this spring. If not, someone would want to get that back in. The corners were under CRP for $49.50 an acre, so that was just shy of $10,000 on the corners. Okay, the other circle, the other 126 acres was and some change is currently under a CRP contract, and the seller is going to transfer that contract to the new buyer. So the new buyer, I believe that payment comes in October. Usually October 1st. Yeah, that payment is approximately $4,323. So if you're looking to rent this thing out, you're gonna get your $100,000 at closing. We need to be very clear about that. $100,000 of rent at closing, plus you're going to receive the CRP payment in October as we transfer that over. And if the new buyer would like to re-enroll those corners and sign that up, they sure can do that, according to the FSA guidelines, of course. So we'll let that dictate. Mm-hmm. But as far as an investment standpoint, you have that income coming in instantly on this farm at closing. So, folks, I know we're looking at this bid here. One has to consider that coming in. And secondly, if one of you individuals that are bidding and watching online here would like to come in and start farming and get possession, you have 4 circles of wheat that are growing, watered, ready to go,
and
fertilized, available for sale yet this year. So, it's kind of the best of both worlds. We'll figure that out post-auction with Courtney, and we'll get those specifics into the purchase agreement that she will do with the successful buyer today. But I also wanted to be clear. I heard the auctioneer say that this has been confirmed. We are going to sell this farm today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's important. The sellers confirmed that whomever is the winning bidder here, it will be sold today.
Excellent. So, well, thank you very much, Brian, for all that information here. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to start this auction right back up.
What if you had a place of your own where you could enjoy your family, friends, and all of your favorite pastimes? Compeer Financial offers recreational land loans for things like hunting, fishing, camping, or just a weekend getaway with friends and family. You can choose from hunting land loans, lake property loans, and even bear land loans, all tailored to fit your lifestyle. We'll provide long-term, fixed-rate financing that works best for you. It's a commitment we take personally. Together, we champion rural. Together, we are Compeer Financial.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we gave you a little update on the farm. We are going to sell this farm today. Now we're not going to be here all day. I'll guarantee you that. So if you want to bid on this, you better jump on board right now. I got $2,400. Who'd give $2,500? $2,500. Hey, bid at $2,500 now. What do you get $2,500 bid for it? 24, now 5. Hot 24, now but a 5, hot, up at 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 a 5. Now help yourself. We are going to sell it. If you want to buy this farm, you're going to have to bid today because it's going to be gone. I got 24, now 500. Hey, bid a $500 now. What do you get $500 bid for it? 24, now 5. Hot 24, now 5, hot. Have you all done? Hot 24, 5. Hot 24, now but a 5, hot, up at 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 a 500 bid. 24, now 5. Thank you. Now 600. Hot 25 at a now $600 bid. 25 at a now 600. Hot 25 at a now $600. Now what do you get 25 at a now 600. Hot 2,500 the bid. Now 600. 194. You're out. Hot 25 at a now 600. Got 25 and now $600 down. When you get 600 out of bid for it. 25 and now 600. At 600 to bid a buy him and now $600 down. When you get 600 out of Ford. 25 now 600. At 25 and now $600 down. When you get 600 down. When you get 2,500 to bid. Now $600. At $600 down. When you get 25 and now 6. At 25 and now $600 down. When you get 600 out of Ford. Now 25. Now 600. Now the other online bidders are out. All right, 25, 600. Help yourself here. You guys know this is a good buy. No question about it. I'll tell you, land up here in the Midwest has doubled in price in the last 3-4 years. Doubled. Down there, I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. This thing here, if somebody keep it for 4 or 5 years, it'll bring $6,000 an acre. But it's going to be sold today. Now, I got 25. Now, when you get 2,600, 25, now 600. Hot 600 out of now. When you get 600 out of bid, 25 and now 600. Hot 20. What do you got? 25. Now 600. You get 25. I got 2,500. Now 6. 25. Now you got it. 25. Now 600. Able to 600. Who'd give 25.50 then? Hot 2,500 down to 50. Hot 2,500 down to 50, 50 down to 50, 50 down to $50 bid. 2,500 now 50. Hot 2,550 now 2,600. Hot 2,600. I got 2,550 now 2,600. Hot 26 to bid to buy him and now $600 bid. 2,550 now 600. 2,550 now 600. Hot $600 down. I'm going to tell you guys, you can't let a few $100s an acre stand in your way. You know, when you buy a farm, you don't buy it for a day, a week, a month, or a year, or even a decade. You buy it for your lifetime and probably generations to come. So when you look back, if somebody looks back 25, 30, 40 years from now, do you think they're going to care whether you paid another $100 or $200 more than you thought you should have? Absolutely not. It's not even going to make a difference. But you're going to own this piece of property here today. Somebody's going to own it. Might as well be you. Just help yourself. We've got some good bidders here. I know you'd like to buy it. Help yourself. We got $2,550. Give me $2,600 right now. $2,600. Hot 25 and a half and now 600. 25 and a half and now 600 out of now. When you get 600 out of bid, 25.50. Now 600. Hot 600 out of now. When you get 600 out of bid for it. 25 and a half and now 600. 25 and a half and now 600 now. When you get 25.50. Now 600. Hot 25 and a half and now 600 now. When you get 600 out of bid for it. Hot 600. Hot 25 and a half and now 600. 25.50. Now 600. Number bidder 045. You are out. There we are. We got 25.50. Now 600. At 600 out of bid for it. 600. At 600. I get 25.50. Now 600 out of now. When you get 600 out of bid for it. 25 and a half. Now 600. At 600 out of now. When you get 600 out of bid for it. 25.50. Now 600. At 600 out of now. When you get 600. 2,600 per acre. And you'll take it home. 26. At 25 and a half. Now 600. At 25 and a half. And now 600 out of now. When you get 600 out of bid for it. 25 and a half. Now 600. At 25 and a half. And now 600 now. When you get 25.50. Now 600. At 25 and a half. And now 600 out of forward. 25 and a half. 600. 25 and a half. And now 600. You know, I usually have a couple of recesses. We're going to have one more recess. And then I'm going to turn it over to the guys. And then we're going to sell this farm. So don't go away. Don't leave. Don't go get a cup of coffee. Stay right there at your computer if you want to buy this farm, because we're going to sell this thing pretty quick. But we're going to have one little recess. I'm going to turn it over to the guys. And Craig, you want to take it over, talk about a few issues on this farm that are very positive. So over there we go. We got 25.50. And we come back, we'll be asking 2,600. Help yourself.
Welcome back, everybody. So just like Greg said here, we started off actually at $1,500, went to $2,400. Now we're at $2,550, asking $2,600. But before we get going, I did want to introduce Craig here again, and let's talk a little bit more about the finances on this farm here and how some of these buyers might be able to realize, you know, what a great investment this is because of what this farm produces.
Sure. Yeah, Tyler. So I did an analysis where I looked at the actual rents here for 2022 for the CRP and for the cash rent, you know, and looked at how that would do into the future and how that might change over time. So if we look at, you know, annual real estate appreciation at about 6%, you know, and crop prices have been going up at about 6% a year over the last 50 years as well. So we could see rents increasing at a similar rate. You know, we're looking at a total 10-year annualized return of about 17.91%, which is a very strong return.
Extremely good return.
Yep. And that really also doesn't consider the fact that part of the sale is a significant amount of equipment that, is going to be able to be appreciated. A lot of it appears as though it would be eligible for accelerated depreciation. You'll want to talk to your tax advisor about that before you make any decisions. But, I think there's a very significant and immediate, opportunity here for whoever the buyer is.
So yeah, whether it's a producer or an investor, either one.
Absolutely. An investor is going to have a substantial amount of depreciation that's going to come from this transaction, and it's a profitable farm that will continue to do well into the future, it appears.
Yeah, very good information, Craig. We're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, just like Greg said, we are going to sell this farm. So stay tuned and don't miss out.
Ascent Financial is your local expert for farm transition planning. Whether you're transitioning your farm to the next generation, looking for an outside successor, or simply want to retire, families and businesses can choose from our wide range of solutions. If you need help with transition planning, wealth management, or insurance planning, Ascent Financial is here to support you and your legacy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to have any more recesses. We're not going to have any more talk about the farm. You know what we're going to do? We're going to sell it. Now, I know there's several people online watching this farm. There's an opportunity here today that, you're looking at it. I'm going to tell you a little story. I've been doing this for 50 years, and I've never, ever had anybody tell me they wish they wouldn't have bought a farm, but I've had hundreds of people tell me they wish they would have bought the farm. If this farm is in your area, or if it works for you, or if you're an investor looking for a great return, and look at, the depreciation on all that equipment, unbelievable. This thing, whoever buys this thing is going to be extremely happy with several different things. Depreciation is going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Income is wonderful. Taxes are reasonable. I'll tell you what, you're looking at property in Texas, you ought to come up to Minnesota and look at the real estate taxes up here. $60, $70, $80 an acre. An acre, can you believe that? Down there, the taxes are just almost non-existent. You people in Texas have a great thing going down there. And as far as production, this farm will produce anything that we can up here in the Midwest. You got to put the water to it, but it'll produce like crazy. So this farm is going to be sold. There's going to be a new owner. And I'm telling you, if you think $50 or $100 an acre is going to stand in your way, I will guarantee you, you call me next year. And my phone number is 507-383-1067, 507-383-1067. You call me and tell me you don't wish you would have bought that farm. You will wish you would have bought this farm. Now, when I'm done here, we're going to sell it. There's going to be a new owner. It's going to be gone, gone, gone. So help yourself. I had $2,550 on the recess. Would you give $2,600? $2,600 out of forward number to $2,550. $2,600. At 25 and a half and now 600. Now would you get 25.50 now 600? At 25 and a half and now 600. If you're done, we are done. We are going to sell it. 25.50 at 25.50. Now 600. At 600 a bit of buy him 600. 600 out of now would you get 600 out of forward number to 25 and a half and now 6. 25 and a half and now 600. At 25 and a half and now 600. Now would you get 25.50 now 600. At 600 out of now, would you get 25 and a half and now 600? Are you all done out there? I want to make sure you are. I'll tell you what, if you another $50 an acre, I'll tell you it's not a lot over a period of 50 years, or 25 or 30 or 40, or maybe 100. A lot of properties, a lot of farm properties are century farms and more. And if you look at it that way, this could be your century farm for your family legacy. I've got $25.50. I'm going to ask you all one more time, and then down we go. Would you give $2,600? Help yourself. 25 and a half, now 600. At 25 and a half, and now 600. At 25.50, now 600 out of now. Would you get 600 out of bid? 25 and a half, and now 600. What do you say? 25 and a half, and now 600. 600. 25 and a half, and now 600. 25 and a half, now 600. 600. 25, would you give 25.75? Anybody go 25.75? If not, I'm going to sell it. 25.50 the bid. Would anybody go 25.75? At 75, would you get 75? Would you get 75? Would you get 75? 75. at $25.50, now 75, at 75, $25.50, now 75, but he gets 75, but he gets 75, but he all done, $25.50 and 75. Is everybody done? 25, no more breaks, no more recesses. I'm going to put it in the bank, and I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to buy it, and then it's going to be gone. I got $25.50. Now who'd give $25.75? $25.75, fine, up and a buy, fine, up and a buy, fine, up and a buy forward. 25 and a half and now 75. 75 a bit of buy, I'm going to get 75. $25.50, now $25.75, and you'll own it. At $25.50, now 75, and he gets 75. At 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75. I think you're done. At $25.50. Now 75, 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75. $25.50, now 75. One more time. $25.50, now 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75. At $25.50, now 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75, and he all done. 25 and a half, now 75. Ask you all one more time. We appreciate all the good online bidders we've had today in the pre-bidding, but we're going to sell this farm. I'm going to sell it. I got $25.50. Would anybody give $25.75? If you're done, we are done. 25 and a half and now 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75, 75, 75, 75, got 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75, and he gets 75, 75, sold this farm for $2,550. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for your participation in bidding. The winning bidder, we will get a purchase agreement to you to get you signed up. And we thank you for watching Auction Cast. We have a lot of farms coming up at Auction Cast. It's a new and a unique way of selling farmland at public auction. And if you want to get a hold of us here, you can LandProz.com. LandProz.com, and you'll get in contact with us and get our number. If you need some assistance out there in selling a farm or in buying a farm, give us a call. Thank you very much. On behalf of Courtney, Diddle, the LandProz Auction Cast, and the team, I want to thank you very much for coming out. I don't know, I'm going to turn this over to the guys just one more time, kind of give us a recap on what happened here today.
Thank you very much, Greg, and great job over there. So we sold the farm for $2,500 and $50 an acre. So great sale right there in the Lone Star State of Texas. Now, Craig, what did you come up here with some final numbers here from a financial standpoint that maybe some buyers can maybe help understand and how these farms get bought from a breakdown standpoint that you provide?
Sure, Tyler. Looking at the sale, we're at $2,550 per acre. That with 821 deeded acres and 500 tillable, that works out to about $4,187 per tillable acre, with a total sale price of approximately $2,090,000 thereabouts.
Wow. Yeah. Great numbers. Great sale. So congratulations to the buyers. But we'd especially like to thank all of our bidders that participated today. And we'd just like to especially thank our seller for trusting us to auction off your property today. Our auction calendar is filling up. We have our next auctions coming up on February 7th at 2 p.m. at 188 acres in Dakota County, Minnesota. On February 8th at 10 a.m. February 8th at 10 a.m. I'm sorry, you're right. February 8th at 2 p.m. We have 53 acres in Mower County, Minnesota. Then on February 11th at 10:30 a.m., in-person only auction in Shelby County, Indiana. And once again, another in-person auction in Freeborn County, Minnesota on February 18th. Then on February 21st, right here at Auction Cast again at 10 a.m., we have 257 acres in Steele County, Minnesota. And at 2 p.m. on the same day, 141 acres in Dakota County, Minnesota. Then the next day, 10 a.m., February 22nd, 82 acres in Dodge County, Minnesota. So we've got a very full auction cast coming up here. And Brian, I'm glad you joined us again here. So we had another great auction here today, that happened in the great state of Texas here. And that's the first time Auction Cast has been down in the state of Texas. And it looked like a tremendous sale that we had here. I think that we had some spirited bidding going on there, and it started off early, that everybody was interested right off the bat here. So we had some great bidding, and it continued there. And we ended up selling things for $2,550 an acre. Yep. Great sale.
Yeah, you're right, Tyler. Very exciting. I had to jump out there a minute and jump on the phone call. Some of you I talked to, and I appreciate you answering the phone. We want to make sure everyone gets a chance to bid and think about it. And it might take a little bit longer than they used to. Like you said, Tyler, this is our first time in the Lone Star State. Thanks to Courtney Dettel, Prime Land and Ranch. Courtney has been great to work with, and Courtney's very connected in the area. She will be working with the buyer next after we conclude the auction. She will be drafting the purchase agreement, and we'll manage through the post-closing items with Courtney on that. And I just want to give her great thanks, and I'd like to, anybody still watching on this, if you're thinking about buying or selling real estate, Courtney Dettel is your call. And if you'd like to auction some real estate, I know Courtney's very interested in working with AuctionCast, just like you've seen here today. Maybe some of you still watching have some land that you'd like to open up. I mean, I think I had a lot of pre calls before this auction, and a lot of people tried to guess. Texas is real hard to understand pricing. It's real hard to get comps. There's not a lot of public data like in Minnesota, for instance. Every single land sale in Iowa, you can go look at that land sale and see how much it is. Well, that's not the case in Texas, and many of you watching know that, and I don't have to say that again, but that's not the case in Texas. So public auction works very well down there. We can all see that today as we're watching this.
Yep.
It's a true market discovery of what a farm's value is today. So now we all know, you've all been watching. We like to keep this information front and center, and if any of you are thinking about selling and using the auction method, please make sure you get a hold of Courtney Dettel, and we will spend time with her, and we will do just as great of a job with her for you if you're thinking about that. So I'd just like to add that in.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Brian, here. Thanks again for joining us here at LandProz AuctionCast, and have a great rest of your day, folks.